Every morning, a young man woke before sunrise and looked toward a distant mountain hidden behind a thick layer of mist. The villagers believed that anyone who reached its peak would discover not treasure, but the strength to change their life. Many had tried, but almost everyone returned after facing steep cliffs, cold winds, and endless uncertainty. The young man had no special talent. He was not the strongest, the fastest, or the smartest. He had failed many times in life, and each failure had made him doubt himself a little more. Yet something inside him refused to let him stop dreaming. One morning, he packed a small bag with food, water, and a notebook. Instead of carrying confidence, he carried determination. He knew the journey would not be easy, but staying where he was had become even harder. The first few days felt exciting. The path was clear, the weather was pleasant, and progress came quickly. He believed the mountain had been easier than everyone had described. Soon, the trail changed. Sharp rocks replaced soft ground. Thick forests blocked the sunlight. Heavy rain turned the path into slippery mud. Every step demanded more effort than the last. He slipped countless times. His clothes became dirty, his shoes wore out, and his supplies slowly disappeared. Some days he covered only a few hundred meters after hours of walking. It seemed as though the mountain was testing not his strength, but his patience. As the days passed, he noticed something important. Every obstacle was teaching him a new skill. The rocks taught him balance. The storms taught him patience. The forests taught him how to stay calm when he could not see the way ahead. Every hardship quietly transformed him into someone stronger than the person who had started the journey. There were moments when turning back seemed like the easiest choice. Looking behind, he could still see the village in the distance. Returning would mean warmth, comfort, and familiar faces. Continuing meant uncertainty, but every time he considered giving up, he remembered how empty he had felt before the journey began. He realized that comfort without growth was another kind of prison. Weeks turned into months. His pace became slower, but his determination became stronger. He no longer measured success by how far he walked each day. Instead, he measured it by whether he had taken one more step than the day before. Eventually, he reached a place where the mist became thicker than ever. He could barely see a few feet ahead. There were no signs, no clear trail, and no guarantee that he was moving in the right direction. Many people would have stopped there. Instead, he trusted the habits he had built. He focused only on the next step. Then the next. And then another. After what felt like an endless climb, the cold wind suddenly changed. The mist began to fade. Sunlight slowly broke through the clouds. For the first time, he stood on the highest point of the mountain. There was no hidden treasure waiting for him. No magical reward. No secret waiting to be discovered. Instead, he looked back at the path below. The difficult trails, the storms, the forests, and the cliffs all stretched beneath him. Only then did he understand the true purpose of the journey. The mountain had never been about reaching the top. It had been about becoming the kind of person who was capable of reaching the top. The fear that had once controlled him was gone. The doubt that had followed him for years had disappeared. The person who stood on the summit was completely different from the one who had left the village. When he returned home, people noticed the change immediately. They asked what he had found on the mountain. The answer was simple. He had found discipline through difficult days. He had found confidence through repeated failure. He had found courage by continuing despite uncertainty. Most importantly, he had discovered that success is not created in a single moment. It is built through thousands of ordinary decisions to keep moving forward, even when no reward is visible. Life is much like that mountain. Every challenge is shaping your character. Every setback is preparing you for something greater. Every small step matters, even when it feels insignificant. Progress is often invisible until you look back and realize how far you have come. The greatest achievements are not reserved for the most talented people. They belong to those who refuse to quit when the journey becomes difficult. Never let today's struggle convince you that tomorrow's victory is impossible. Keep climbing. One step, one day, one choice at a time. Because the strongest version of yourself is waiting beyond the mist.